We all know that skins are very cheap in HOK, but why not make them even cheaper and support me at the same time? If you guys go to the link in the description and click on this link, foreignfamousshop.com/Zex, you will be supporting this channel, while also being eligible to apply for bigger bonuses on top-ups. You can see that the 1,200 or the 2,400 offer bonuses. Which over here, on the other hand, you can see that for the same price, you're not getting as many bonus tokens. It is only 45 or 108. Comparing this to the bonus 240 or 480, it is much better to use this website. All you have to do is sign in with your HOK account, and then you will immediately be able to recharge to your HOK account. This is 100% safe, and they are an official recharge store by Tencent themselves, which, if you don't know, is the company that created HOK. The only difference is that you're going to be getting a lot of bonuses and supporting your creator here at the same time. Anyways, let's get into today's video. Now, Feyd is one of those heroes that does have a high skill cap, and I feel like a lot of people don't use him correctly. Since I've only been playing HOK for a couple of weeks now, I know that my knowledge isn't extremely strong on this game, but I do know some very basic and very good micro and macro tips that you can use when you're playing Feyd to give you an advantage in your ranked games. Feyd is one of those heroes that is always looking for opportunity. He is an opportunist hero. When I say that, we all know that assassins in general are looking for the right moment to engage, but Feyd, this is more important than any of the other assassins in this game. Feyd is a cleanup hero. I feel like a lot of people do not understand this about him. They think that they're meant to 1v3 and go in and engage. Absolutely not. Feyd is based on picking the moment. You want to enter into a team fight when the enemies are on low HP and clean them up, either through the use of your ultimate or through your wall basic attacks, or even jumping off the wall and basic attacking them there. Now, if you guys don't know how I structure these videos, the first thing we do is we talk about the passives, the skill 1, the skill 2, and the skill 3. And then we're going to talk about some skill combos or some basic knowledge that you need to have on Feyd in practice mode, or any other hero for that matter, but in this video, of course, it's Feyd. And then after that, I'm going to be voicing over a gameplay that I got on Feyd and showing you guys how to apply the tips that I am talking about. Anyways, let's get started. Feyd's passive skill is called Jade Carriage, View from Above. Feyd can move freely on walls where his basic attacks become ranged, and he can use them while jumping between walls. He gains the following during Light of Body, which is his passive when he's on the wall. Gains 10% wall walk charging speed while on top of the wall. Gains 15% increased field of vision while on top of the wall. And the downfall of this skill is that if you get CC'd while you are on the wall, it has a plus 25% increased duration, so be very careful of getting hit by longer stuns when you are on the wall. Feyd skill 1, Jade Chase or Returning Strike. He moves swiftly and surely, dealing damage, plus extra physical damage to enemies in his path, and he also launches them for 3/4 of a second, which means 0.75 second launch. He gains 50% attack speed and enhances his next 3 basic attacks. Each attack deals an extra 75 plus 20% extra physical damage and restores 150 plus 1.5% of your extra max health. Now this is for when he's walking, but when Feyd is on the wall, each attack deals 37, which is exactly half, and an extra half physical damage, which means that his basic attack damage is quite literally cut in half when he's on the wall. The benefit of this is that if there's at least one other enemy to a maximum of 3 around the enemy you are attacking, it will bounce between them. Feyd skill 2, Stepping on Jade. Feyd leaps to the target wall. Each upgrade increases his distance by 4% that he can jump to the wall from, and he can move between the walls to confuse the enemy, aka he's allowed to jump anywhere on the wall, he can attack while he's on the wall, and he can engage you at any point when he's on the wall. Now what makes Feyd so strong? His ultimate. Feyd's ultimate in a circular area will do damage to the enemy, and when you use it again, it will do damage again. But if the target falls below 1/8% of their health, they will become practically petrified, untargetable, but they will die to you in a few seconds. This will be shown when we go into practice mode, but the way that it works is you get an enemy below the threshold and press your ultimate again, and it's like confirming a kill for yourself. So because of Feyd's skill set, it's very easy to see his playstyle. Considering that Feyd is an assassin and that he's also very squishy, you need to wait for the right moment to engage and to punish the enemy. If you're not doing this correctly on Feyd, the value that you can get from him is significantly decreased. Keep in mind that you can also be on walls and harass the enemy and poke them like crazy without ever fully having to engage on melee heroes. For example, if you are versus a Byron, you are able to constantly attack him from the wall and poke him down to low HP, potentially force his ultimate, do all of these things without being in range of any of his attacks. Of course, when you're versus a ranged target such as a marksman or a mage, this becomes an entirely different story, because they can target you from that distance, so it might be better for you to drop down onto the ground depending on the situation. Anyways, let's get into some practice mode. I'm going to show you guys a few things about Feyd, and then we're going to get into the gameplay. So the two most notable things that I want to talk about is the fact that at level 1, his first skill has an 8-second cooldown, and this keeps getting reduced with time. One thing that you need to understand about Feyd is that once you do your dash, you can see that this goes on a timer. So if you want to give yourself an advantage when jungling, the most basic thing that you can do is this. Dash at around the 26 to 27 second mark and start basic attacking when this gets to about 2/3 to being done. So around here, 1, 2, 3, and you should be able to dash again and do another enhanced 3 basic attacks. And on another note, another thing that is beneficial for is before you engage in team fights, you should always be actively looking, depending on the situation of course, to use your first skill before you go onto a wall. Because when you go onto a wall, as you will see here, after I use my first skill, my first 3 basic attacks will ricochet between targets, but now if I do them again, you can see that they won't ricochet. With this in mind, depending on the situation, if you're not jumping on a wall to immediately engage onto somebody, then you should always be using your dash before getting onto a wall to have those enhanced basic attacks. Now we've all seen how his skill 2 works. We've seen that you can go between walls, and the more you upgrade it, the further the distance can be. Now as you gain more distance from upgrading this skill, you're able to jump much further. Now what you need to keep in mind is that it is a relatively slow animation, which means that you can get caught out very easily during this animation. And the other thing you have to keep in mind is that it does have a maximum of 4 stacks. Of course, I'm in practice mode, so I'm able to spam this, but when it has a maximum of only 4 stacks, you have to be very, very careful in terms of not running out of stacks. The golden rule on Feyd is that you want to be on 4 stacks and you want to use 1 stack to get onto the wall before a fight, which means that you would have 3 stacks at a fight. Now specific walls on the map allow you to drop very low, such as this one, and this is a very simple but advanced Feyd tip. Certain walls on the map put you at different height positions. So as you can see here, I'm on a higher point, but here I'm on a lower point. With this in mind, what you're able to do is in specific bushes, you're able to be invisible in certain angles. So you can see here that I'm invisible here, and if I go here, I can be invisible in this bush. But then again, if I go to this side, I can't be invisible. Or if I go to this side, I can be invisible, right? Now another basic thing is on this wall specifically, sometimes it's going to be on your side and sometimes it's going to be on the opponent's side, so I'll just show you quickly this first. You see how on this side you cannot fully drop down. Now this is going to be very important because as you can see, I do not have the distance with my indicator to get through this wall, which means that if I want to invade the enemy's blue, I have to jump to this wall first before I start attacking it. On this wall, you can see that my indicator touches this wall, so if I push myself all the way to it, I can go straight through and directly onto my blue buff. You can be basic attacking while jumping between walls, so you can see here that as I'm jumping, I'm able to attack targets very simply and very easily. This is the same for when you're in mid lane, you're able to attack targets constantly, and also while you're in between flight, you can drop down with your first skill, while you're in between flight, you can drop down with your ultimate, etc, etc. You can easily do certain combos like first skill onto the wall, 1, 2, 3, and then drop down with your ultimate, or you can do combos such as basic attacking, basic attacking, basic attacking, jumping to a wall, and then jumping onto the enemy, right? So these kind of things are very important to keep note of. Now, of course, I have Invincible on, but let's say that I get this butterfly AI low enough. You can see I've gotten the butterfly AI low enough now to where she's running away. And if I just use my ultimate, you can see that she's below the threshold. So now when I press it again, she is stunned in an almost petrified state and just ends up dying to me. And that's why Feyd is so amazing. Because you can do very specific things like this, where you engage onto an enemy, you get them very low, and then you can use your ulti while escaping with your second skill and confirm that kill. The next thing I want to talk about is Feyd's build, so let's go and purchase all of the items, and then we'll talk about it. Starting off with Rapacious Bite, obviously we want to use this. It's the best way to go because you get extra physical damage to your jungle, and of course we're building Feyd with damage, not tankiness. Now the Boots of Dexterity, this is a no-brainer. It gives you 20% attack speed for clear, but then it also gives you extra healing with your basic attack, which aligns really well with his passive. Axe of Torment, we all know this is one of the best items in the game for anti-squishy and for just having crazy pierce. Gives you 10% cooldown reduction and some max HP as well, so this doesn't hurt. Next I go for Frostguard's Embrace, and the reason why I go for this is not necessarily because it's a great damage item, but it's because of all of the massive stats that it gives you. The passive is amazing, as you can see with doing extra damage and slowing enemies, making it harder for them to escape. Combine this with the extra cooldown reduction, extra physical defense and max health, Feyd is now a little bit more tanky and super annoying to deal with. Pure Sky is a no-brainer as well. If you're going to have to engage into the middle of an enemy team to get a double or triple kill with your ultimate, Pure Sky is an absolute must. On top of this, the skill slows the first enemy hero hit by 15 to 30% and reduces damage taken from that enemy, which means that Frostguard's Embrace and Pure Sky line up very well together in unison. And of course we all know the active skill, granting 35% damage reduction for 3 seconds. Finally we go for Doomsday. Now, this last item is honestly negotiable, but I personally prefer Doomsday. There's a lot of tanks in this game, and you want to have Doomsday's current HP passive when you're fighting these tanks. Typically, when you pick Feyd in jungle, you're going to notice that more games than not, you're going to be versing a fighter or a tank jungler, and this item makes it very easy to deal with them. Combine this with the extra attack speed and the physical lifesteal, this item is absolutely amazing for Feyd. Don't forget that even though I say this is the best build for Feyd, this is always subject to change with new metas. Always keep that in mind. Anyways though, what we use is this Arcana. So we get Stealth times 10, which gives us an extra 16 physical attack and 10% movement speed. We get Eagle Eye 10 times, which is 9 extra physical attack and an extra 64 physical pierce. Next we get Red Moon once, and this is critical rate and attack speed. And the last one we get times 9 is Mutation, which is an extra 2 physical attack, times 9, which is 18, and an extra 32.4 physical pierce. Anyways, with that in mind, let's get into the gameplay. Now in this game we're versing Musashi, and if any of y'all know, all he has to do is press his ultimate and he can take me off a wall. So we do have to be pretty careful in terms of our micro decision making here. We have to wait for him to use his ultimate before we engage for the most part. Anyways, on Feyd, you always want to start on red buff and immediately do your 3 camp clear here. Then move up towards your blue buff and look for a gank on Clash lane. If you can't find one, just teleport down to bot lane. If you can't find anything, just keep farming your jungle. You can also use your ultimate to clear jungle quicker because it's on such a short cooldown. Feyd needs a bit of time to do some damage, so keep prioritizing your farm and don't really force any engages in early game. If you have the opportunity to not force anything, do not force it. Just sit there, chill, farm, keep clearing your jungle until the opportunity presents itself. Here, in this case and scenario, I wanted to stay helping my Charlotte, and this ended up working out very well. As you can see, the enemy might think that I'm not there, so I can easily fly in, launch the Musashi, and immediately ult him, and just like that, we get our first free kill. From here, it's just a constant snowball. Pay attention to how strong my wall ricochet basic attacks are here, as it helps me and my team completely confirm a bunch of kills, which results in us getting a dragon and immediately being able to take more team fights with our extra damage. Coming in here, insta-killing this Hu Yi, who is doing way too much. And now we can start perma snowballing. All I did was wait for the right moment, and now it's just wraps. Easy double kill here and the blue buff for me, and now we are getting way too fed. We're already almost level 11 after one more jungle clear, and the enemy can't do anything about it. You can see that I'm attacking off the wall, jumping with my first skill first, coming in there and getting some crazy ricochets to get another double kill. Now let's take the Slayer because we're ahead and we want to be pushing, and let's keep assisting our Charlotte here. But see how I wait and time my engage? I don't really want to force any plays against this Musashi here, because I still know that even one ultimate can be the difference maker in me living or dying. Here, easy double kill though, Hu Yi's out of position, and this is just a wrap. You guys can see how easy it is to snowball on Feyd, and this is why he's such a good hero. All you have to do is know how to time your engages, don't force anything, look for the right moment, get yourself farmed first, you're gonna snowball. Keep in mind you can jump onto the base turret here, which allowed me to get a really free kill onto their mage, and even though somehow their roamer didn't die, it doesn't matter because everyone ends up dying. And just like that, we're able to end this game in less than 9 minutes, which is absolutely crazy. Keep in mind this is also a triple S rank gameplay. We got an SSS medal from this game, and all we did was play safe, farm, confirm kills, push when we could, and we were able to absolutely dominate this entire lobby. Anyways, now that you guys have a better understanding on Feyd, I have faith in you guys to be able to play him in a very similar way. Give it a bit of time, give yourself some leniency, and eventually you're going to learn the maximum amount that Feyd can be doing in every situation. You're going to be limit testing him and figuring out what he can do and what he can't do at every moment in the game. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.